highlighters. These are highlighters. I don't know if I'm gonna get rid of any, but let's start. It's actually a bronzer, but it won't fit in the bottom drawer. This is the Too Faced, the little black book of bronzers. I used to have my bronzers in this drawer and the blushes and highlighters underneath, but I had so many highlighters that they just would not fit very nicely. And this was the only thing that wouldn't fit down there because it would sit like this. And I didn't like that. So I just put it up here because there was room. I'm gonna keep this. I know it's old. I know it's old. All right, listen, I hear it every time I use this. I know it's old, but it still works. It smells fine. It still performs fine. So until it goes bad, I'm gonna keep it. So keeping that, it was discontinued, God, years ago. It's been years. It's been years. All right, this is the Beauty Bakery Milk and Honey palette. I'm keeping this, obviously, okay? One of my faves, keeping it forever. Then I have the Lion King Be Fierce palette from Primark. Again, this is another thing Caitlin bought me when we were in Scotland. And the only shade I can use is this one, but it is stunning, so I'm gonna keep it. And the Smashbox Spotlight palette in the shade Pearl. This is one of my favorites, and I'm gonna keep it because it's one of my faves, so I'm keeping, oh, I thought it would fit, but it doesn't. I'm gonna keep that. Okay, so I got rid of this last time. The Too Faced You're So Jelly highlighter in the shade Gilded Champagne, but I'm actually going to keep it now because it is the only cream highlighter I have. It's literally the only one I have. It's nice, it smells delicious. I don't really use it that much because it's kind of hard to sit on my skin. Like, it doesn't sit on my skin very nice, but I'm gonna keep it because it's the only cream highlighter I have, and if I need it for a tutorial, I have it. I think these were discontinued though. I think they were part of a limited time collection or something. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in the shade Reserve Your Cabana. This is not a bronzer, okay? This is not a bronzer on anyone. And this is what it looks like right here. It's very, very natural. As you can see here, very, very, very natural. I'm actually going to, last time I decluttered this because I wasn't using it, but I'm going to keep it because the other day I used this to dust over my foundation after I had set it with a powder and I thought I was a little too matte, and I really liked the way it looked that way. So I'm gonna keep it and keep using it like that and maybe declutter it in the future, but I'm using it right now, so I'm gonna keep it this time around. These two are the Wet n Wild Fergie Center Stage Collection 2 Reflect Shimmer Palettes. So they have these on their website still. They just have different names, but they are in the same type of packaging. So this one is the shade Hollywood Boulevard. This is a gold highlighter that I could use, which is why I was so excited to find it, because it was like the only gold at the time I could use. Now, I'm way too fair. I'm way too fair for this as a highlighter. I don't know what I was thinking. When I got it, I was a little bit more tan, but now I'm too fair, so I'm gonna declutter that. This one was my favorite. This is Rosé Champagne Glow. This, I've had like 4 or 5 of these. Like, I loved this so much. I had like a real strong love affair with it, and it's nothing really special. Like, I swatch it now and I'm like, girl, like, where is you? But this was my love for many, many, many years, and I'm going to declutter it now because my preferences have since changed and I'm not using it anymore. So I'm going to declutter it, but it was like the only highlighter for me for years. Now I have some loose ones. I have 3 here. These 2 are by Wet n Wild. This one is called Written in the Stars, and this one is I'm So Lit. I'm gonna keep both of these. And I have the Coty Airspun Loose Face Highlighter in Snow Much Ice. I'm gonna keep this as well. Then I have the LA Girl Strobe Light in the shade 120 Watt. I'm gonna keep this. This is amazing if you have fair skin. And the Tarte Exposed Highlight. I'm gonna keep that as well. Obviously, I like this. Do you see the big dent in there? Ooh, girl. All right. Then I have the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in the shade Highlight 01. I love this. I love this. I'm keeping this. doesn't really fit nicely in here, but that's okay. It's okay. It fits, just not nicely. All right. This is the Juvia's Place, the Tribe Highlighter Volume 3. I was never a huge fan of this, but I used it yesterday, I think it was, and I loved it. So I'm gonna keep it. I think you just have to get through that first layer because I've kind of scraped it all off, as you guys could see. And now I really like it, so I'm gonna keep using it for now. This is the Milani Strobe Light Highlighter in Afterglow, and I love this. Keeping that. These are all very blinding highlighters, by the way. If you like a more natural highlighter, I would go with the Laura Mercier or even this one. But these are all like really blinding. This is the Balm Mary Lou. Of course, I'm keeping Mary Lou. Love Mary Lou. Then I have these two by Becca, which I got for a steal because they were going out. This is Vanilla Quartz. It's the wrong side. I like this highlighter. It's not as blinding as I would like, so I usually top it with this one, which is Moonstone, and I love Moonstone. Moonstone is like my current obsession right now. And then my last highlighter is the Lorac Daylight highlighter, which is not a super intense highlighter, so if you prefer a more natural look, I would go with this, because obviously you can see it, especially with my other swatches there, but it's not as in your face as some of my other ones, and I like that about it, so I'm gonna keep it because I don't have that many natural highlighters. So didn't get rid of a whole lot. The drawer already looks much better, so yay me. All right, concealers and powders. As you can see, I don't have a ridiculous amount of either. I mean, obviously I have too much, but I don't have like an obsessive amount. I have cat hair in here. Don't mind that. So let's just start with powders, shall we? This is the Ciate London Everyday Vacay Powder. I like this. I'm gonna try not to make a mess, but I like this a lot, so I'm gonna keep it. All right, so maybe I won't open them all because that one just went everywhere. This is the Laura Mercier Mineral Finishing Powder in the shade number 1. I am going to keep this. I'm gonna keep both of these. This one is the Revlon Candid powder in the shade 001. And then the Beauty Bakery Flower Powder in the shade Rice. I'm going to get rid of this. This is the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade Fair. I just don't care for this powder at all. I know so many people love it. I just don't like it on my skin. I think I'm too dry for it, so I'm going to pass it along. This is the NYC Smooth Skin. I got rid of this last time, but I used it the other day, and I really liked it, so I'm gonna keep it for now. This is the Coty Airspun Translucent Extra Coverage. I'm gonna keep it for now. I do have one that's unopened, which is right here. So I'm gonna get rid of the unopened one because I don't really love this powder that much, and I'm going to keep this one just to finish it up because really I've used quite a bit of it, if you guys can see that. So I'm just gonna finish it up, try to get it knocked out. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Set and Smooth in the shade 110 Porcelain. I don't know what happened to this powder. It's my favorite powder ever, and I think it discontinued because now they only have the matte and poreless, which upsets me greatly because I love this powder, so I'm gonna keep it. Another one I've hit pan on is the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Finishing Powder in the shade Fair Light. I love this. Again, I've hit pan on it. Look at me go. Then I have the Winky Lux Diamond Powder in the shade Light. I like this on days where I need a little bit more coverage, but it does make me a little bit too matte. I keep that. Then I have the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder in the shade 2. I can get by with using 2, but I think 1 would have been my perfect shade match, but 2 isn't too bad, so I'm gonna keep it. This is the Too Faced It's Banana Setting Powder in the shade Banana Cream. Do you guys remember when I tried loving this so much? Like, I wanted to like this, and I just don't really reach for it all that much. So I know it's a Too Faced product, but I'm gonna pass it on. Ones I know I'm gonna keep are the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stops. I have 3 shades here. I have the shades Light Ivory, Pale, and Alabaster. I love those. I'm also going to keep both of my e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. So this one's the original and this one is the hydrating camo, and they're both in the shade Fair Warm. I love both of them, so I'm keeping both of those. I'm going to keep the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear. This one's in the shade Porcelain. Again, another concealer that I really do like. We'll just shove it in there. Same with the CoverGirl. This is the True Blend Undercover in the shade Fair Porcelain. Again, another concealer that I really like. I'm going to declutter the Milani Conceal and Perfect in the shade Pure Ivory. This is just too dry on my under eyes. I just don't care for this concealer at all, so I'm going to pass it on to somebody else. This is the Maybelline Master Conceal in the shade Fair. I use this to cut my crease, and that's really pretty much it, but I'm going to keep it. The Revlon Candid in the shade 5, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep the Beauty Bakery Insta Bake in the shade Frappe Hour. I didn't love this at first, but now I quite enjoy it. Okay, sorry if the angle's a little different. My SD card was full, so I had to go fix that. So I'm back now. It's probably been about 10 minutes, but I don't remember what I was talking about. So we have 2 concealers left. This is the NYX Born to Glow in the shade Pale. I'm going to declutter this. Even though it says glowy, it is not glowy. To me, it is way too drying on my skin, so I'm going to declutter that. I think my sister would really enjoy this, and we are about the same skin tone, so I think I will give that to her. And then the Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer in the shade Ivory. I love this stuff. I'm gonna keep that. So didn't get rid of a whole lot out of this drawer, but this is a pretty easy amount of powders and concealers for me. I'm counting these two, both have pan, and I'm just working on finishing them up. I'm working on finishing this up because it's almost done. So, you know, some of these things are on their way out the door, so I'm just kind of trying to finish things up in here. Eyeshadow primers, we have lashes, we have mascaras, we have eyeliners, lip liners, eyeliners, and eyebrow stuff all in this drawer right here. So let's go ahead. And because I decluttered not too long ago, obviously you guys know, I may not get rid of a whole lot because I don't have a whole lot to get rid of. But, you know, I do have a few things that I want to pick out of this drawer. So let's do it. Let us start with our eyebrow stuff. I don't know if I'll get rid of any of the eyebrow stuff, but like I said, let's just go through it anyway. This is the Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit. This is in the shade 3.5. I am not the biggest fan of super skinny brow pencils like this, but this one, I think I can finish it up. So I'm going to keep it. This I love. This is the Essence Make Me Brow Gel in the shade Ashy Brows. I'm going to keep that. I'm obviously going to keep my Urban Decay Brow Blade in the shade Brown Sugar, and I just learned, I don't know where I've been, that they have like an ink stain by itself, which I need because I love that side. I don't really use the other side that much, but I love the ink stain, so I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to keep this. This is the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil in the shade Neutral Brown. I haven't used it too much. It's not bad, but I'm not the biggest fan of brow pencils, which is crazy because that's like all I have. And then I'm going to keep the Almay Brow Pencil in the shade Dark Blonde and the Revlon Color Stay Brow Pencil in the shade Soft Brown. Again, I think I can finish this one up, and I think I can finish that one up as well. So I'm just going to keep those for now. I prefer brow gels, to be honest. But I don't have that many, which is crazy. Is liquid liners and like chubby eyeshadow sticks. So I only have 3, and they are by Hot Mess Rockins Cosmetics. This is the green one, and I'm going to keep all 3. So I have green, black, and blue, and I'm going to keep all 3 of them because I like them a lot. The glitter doesn't really show up if you blend it away. I think it's time to say goodbye. This is like almost empty. This is the Benefit Roller Liner. It's almost time to say goodbye, I should say. It's almost completely gone. So I think I can finish this up relatively soon. So I'm going to keep it. This is just a mini size. I don't really do winged eyeliner that often to get a full size, but I think I'm going to get a full size next time because it's easier for me to hold it in my big man hands. Like, I'm not kidding, I have huge hands. I say they're man hands because like I have huge hands, but I'm going to keep this and finish it up. This is the e.l.f. Stardust glitter liner in the shade Pink Opal. I'm gonna keep this, I use it quite a lot. I have two black eyeliners here. I have the KVD Beauty Dagger tattoo liner in the shade Trooper, and then I have the Tarte Sex Kitten. I'm gonna keep both of these. And then I have two white eyeliners. I'm going to keep the Sephora one. This is the Sephora Colorful Wink It Felt Liner in the shade Bone White. And I'm going to get rid of the ColourPop liquid liner in the shade Graceland. I tried this the other day. I did not care for this. It bled a lot. It wasn't super white. I prefer the Sephora one, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay. Lip liners, I don't think I'm going to get rid of any because I only have 5. Yeah, that's it. I definitely need more lip liners for sure. I have 3 by NYX. They are just the regular lip liners. And I have the shades Pale Pink, Rose, and Bloom. And I'm going to keep all 3 of those. And then I have 2 by Milani. These are their color statement lip liners. This one's in the shade Hot Pink, and this one's in the shade All Natural. I'm going to keep both of these as well. So that's it for that. All right, eyeshadow primer. Alrighty, I'm going to keep the Too Faced glitter glue. This is the best glitter glue I have ever tried. I'm going to keep the Smashbox 24 Hour. This is my favorite shadow primer ever. I'm going to keep the Lorac Behind the Scenes. I love this. And I'm going to keep the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I love that one as well. For a drugstore option, I'm going to get rid of the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer in the shade Cream. I started out loving this, but after the first 2 uses, it just did not perform the same. I think it just dries out really, really fast. Which is such a shame because it was really nice, but I don't like it anymore, and I haven't even had it that long, but I'm going to declutter that. And the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime in the shade 1. I am not a fan of this. It's really, really watery. To me, even when I use shadows that I love, it just like affects the way they perform. So I'm going to pass this along to somebody else. I am not going to get rid of any of my pencil liners because I just did that. So I'm going to keep all of them. The only brands I have in here, I have mainly ColourPop, I have a Smashbox one, and I have Illuminati Cosmetics from the BoxyCharm box. The rest are ColourPop. So, or I also have NYX. I have NYX, but yeah, they're mainly ColourPop, and I just went through them all, so I'm not going to get rid of any of them. Mascaras. So right away, I kind of know which ones I'm going to keep. Just looking at them, I kind of already know. So I'm going to keep the Maybelline Sky High. I like that one. I'm also going to keep the original Lash Sensational. This one's waterproof. Why did I buy a waterproof mascara? That's weird. I don't normally buy waterproof mascara, so I'm gonna keep that one. All right, I'm going to keep the Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof. This one is almost finished, which I think is probably why I bought another waterproof one, because this is the only waterproof one I have. But this one's almost done, and I'm pretty sure I can finish it up. So I don't wear waterproof mascara a lot, but if I'm going to be anywhere like super sweaty, I will wear a waterproof mascara. I'm going to keep the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. This one's almost empty. I'm pretty sure I can finish that one up. I'm going to keep this little tiny Clinique High Impact. It's so small. I love that mascara. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I actually think this one is empty, so I can pull in another one. I'm going to toss the empty one because it's completely empty. And then this is a new one that I just opened. So let's work our way through that. We'll just toss the empty one in the trash. This is the Tarte Tarteist Lash Paint, keeping that. Benefit Bag All Bang, keeping that. I'm gonna keep all 4 of the Essence Lash Princess mascaras. I'm trying, I think, a couple of these out. My favorite one is the full False Lash Effect. Oh my goodness, that one's my favorite. I really like the Sculpted Volume as well. And then I think the last two places are Curl and Volume and Volume. I do like them. Sephora had a buy 2 get 2 sale, so I bought 2 and I got 2. And then I'm going to just toss. I don't pass along mascaras for obvious reasons. They're really hard to disinfect. But this is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Curvitude. I do not like this mascara at all, so I'm going to just bin this one. We have some falsies. I'm gonna keep all my falsies. So I have some from Sephora, which were all, I think, limited edition. But this is what they look like right here. Jet Setter Cheers, and I just threw one, so let me grab that one. This one is called Warm Wishes. Sorry, I had to pick it up off the floor. And then I have Lash Away and Lit Up from Sephora. And I have two from ColourPop. This is the style Chica, which I have obviously worn these, but I love them. And then these are the Bambi ones and Oh Dear right here. So I'm gonna keep all of those. Don't mind the cat toys, okay? Listen, my cats have a million toys, okay? We'll try to move them out of the way. So this drawer is foundation, primers, and setting sprays. So we have a lot to get through in this drawer. Let's start with some setting sprays. This is the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day setting spray in the scent Peach. I almost said shade. I'm gonna keep this. I like this, and it's just a little sample, so I'm gonna keep that. It bugs me that it doesn't have a cap, but that's like besides the point. I'm also gonna keep the Body Shop Cocoa Calming Face Mist. I know this isn't technically a setting spray, but I use it as one, and it does work, so I like it for that. I know it's not technically what it's supposed to do, but like it works, so I'm gonna keep that one there. Now I'm gonna keep both of these. These are some of my favorites. So I have the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Set, and then I have the Merle Norman Expert Touch Finishing Spray. I'm gonna keep both of those. I use finishing sprays and setting sprays interchangeably. You know, truthfully, on my skin, I don't notice a huge difference, but I know some people really do notice a difference. So I think it's all about personal preference. I'm gonna keep the Wet n Wild SpongeBob Fun setting spray. I love this. I love that. And then I'm going to keep the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray. I like this a lot to wet my makeup sponge or to wet shadows, which is something I rarely do, but it's also a really good setting spray. I'm also going to keep the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I have not used this a whole bunch. I've only used it twice. I haven't had it that long, so I'm going to keep testing it out. I'm going to get rid of the Ciate London Everyday Vacay. I don't care for the setting spray. It spits, so I'm going to pass it on to somebody else. Primers. So now I'm going to do the jar, like the potted primers first. This is the Murad Hydrodynamic Ultimate Moisture for Eyes. I know technically this is an eye cream, but I like to put it on underneath my concealer, so I'm going to keep it. e.l.f. Happy Hydration Cream. I'm going to keep this. I really like that. Then I'm going to keep the Sephora Brightening Eye Cream. Again, I use this underneath my concealer, kind of like a concealer primer. I'm going to keep both of these. This is the Merle Norman 24 Karat Gold Firming Foundation Primer and the e.l.f. Glow Primer Stick. I like both of these, so I'm going to keep both. Now these two to me are very similar. The e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer and the LA Girl Pro Prep HD Smoothing Foundation Primer. Truthfully, I think the LA Girl one kind of feels like matte parchment paper, so I'm going to get rid of this one and keep the mineral infused. I do like the mineral infused. This one, not a huge fan of, so I'm going to pass it along. I have the Wet n Wild Water Drop Primer in Coconut and the Laura Geller Spackle Tinted Under Makeup Primer in Champagne. Both of these are very close to being empty, so I think I can finish them up, so I'm going to keep both. I have the Maybelline Master Prime and Blur and Illuminate. I'm going to keep that. The Elemis Superfood Secret Calm Hydration Juice. This is another skincare product that I use as a primer. For me and my skincare routine, it's a little too sticky, but it is a beautiful foundation primer. So this is the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer, and then I have the Wander Beauty Glow Ahead Illuminating Face Oil. I'm going to keep Laura Mercier. Oh, you guys can't even see. I'm going to keep Laura Mercier, and I'm going to get rid of the Wander Beauty one. I just don't care for this. I don't see it making a difference in my foundation or illuminating my face in any way, so I'm going to pass it along. I'm going to keep the Wet n Wild SpongeBob BFF Priming Mist. I love this. It is so good. So I'm keeping that. I have more of these. This is the Winky Lux Dream Jelly Hydrator. Technically, this is a moisturizer. Again, I like to use it to moisturize and also as a foundation primer, so I'm going to keep it. This is the Winky Lux Whipped Cream Primer. This is another smoothing primer. This one is a little bit softer than the mineral infused, so I'm going to keep it. The Glassy Skin Balm from Touch and Soul is an amazing primer, so I'm going to keep that as well. Kind of want to put you up front so you don't get lost. This is a little bitty sample of the Clinique Moisture Surge, which is one of my favorite moisturizers. But I think I'm actually going to pass this on just because I want somebody else to get a chance to try it. This is brand new. It literally is just like a tiny little bitty sample. It's so cute, but I think I'm gonna pass it on because, you know, I have tried this. It's one of my favorites. And truthfully, I just keep looking over it because it's so small and I have so much stuff. So I'm gonna pass it along to somebody else. Okay, then we get into foundation. So this is the Merlin CC Cream. This is almost gone, like literally almost gone. This is in the shade Light Ivory. So I'm going to keep it to finish it up. It can't stand up in here because it's too tall. Okay. I'm gonna keep both of these. These are the Revlon Candid foundations. They're both in the shade 110 Porcelain. I'm gonna keep both of these. I like them. Truthfully, I don't notice a huge difference between them. I really don't, but I'm gonna keep both of them. I have the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover in the shade Classic Ivory, and I also have the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover in the shade Fair Porcelain. I like the L'Oreal one. I don't care for the Maybelline one, so I'm going to keep L'Oreal and pass along Maybelline. I have both versions of this. I have the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in the shade Creamy Natural and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte in the shade True Porcelain. I'm going to keep both of these. I like both of them. I'm going to keep the Sephora Clean foundation in the shade 1. I really enjoy that. Keeping that. I have the Too Faced Do You in the shade Porcelain and the Born to Glow by NYX in the shade Porcelain. I'm going to get rid of the Born to Glow. I don't care for this. It's the same thing with the concealer. It's a little bit too dry, but I like the Too Faced one, so I'm going to keep Too Faced and pass along NYX. Then I have the NYX Total Control in the shade Alabaster and the Maybelline Dream Liquid Mousse in the shade 10 Porcelain Ivory. Even though this is matte, I really, really love the amount of coverage it gives, so I'm going to keep both of these. Actually, this one's been discontinued, but I love it still, so keeping. I have both versions of this. These are both the Maybelline Fit Me's. This is the Dewy and Smooth, and this is the Matte and Poreless. They are both in the shade 110 Porcelain. I know, they look completely different, but I don't know why that is, but both these shades actually work for me. So I'm going to keep both. I have these two by L'Oreal. I have the Infallible Fresh Wear in the shade 400 and the True Match Lumi in the shade Porcelain Light Ivory. I'm going to keep both of these. Again, these shades look completely different, but they both work for me. I don't know if there's the bottle is that way, but I'm gonna keep both of these. I have the Milani Conceal and Perfect in the shade Light Natural and the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop in the shade Alabaster. I'm gonna keep the Milani one because it's good to have for videos. Yeah, my pump is broken, which is like really annoying, but I have quite a bit of product left, so I'm just gonna use up the product. And then I'm gonna get rid of the NYX one. This is just too matte for my dry skin. If you have oily skin, you would probably love this. But yeah, I'm just gonna pass it along. I think my sister would really enjoy this. Then I have the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid in the shade Fair Porcelain. I don't remember what I thought of this, so I think I'm gonna give it another chance and see what I think. You guys like my fuzz balls all over my floor, isn't it nice? This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost in the shade Classic Ivory. I'm going to keep that. Same with the Winky Lux White Tea Tinted Veil in the shade Fair Tint. I'm gonna keep that. Okay, this is the Milani Screen Queen in the shade Nude Ivory. I know last time I got rid of this, but I want to try it again. I saw somebody use it the other day and I was like, wow, that is stunning. So I'm going to try it again and then see what I think. The Burt's Bees Goodness Glows in the shade Porcelain is going to go. I just can't stand the smell of this. It makes me nauseous. Like, I just can't. So it looks beautiful, but I just can't. So I'm going to get rid of this. It smells like eggs and I just don't like it. Like rotten eggs. I have both of these. These are both of the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundations. This one is the original in the shade Porcelain, and this is the Dewy in the shade Porcelain. Why are these like 2 different colors. You guys see that? Anyway, I'm gonna keep both. Truthfully, I don't reach for these a whole lot, but I'm gonna keep them for video purposes. All I have left are high-end. So this is the Beauty Bakery Insta Bake in the shade 357. I like this a lot, so I'm gonna keep it. The Marc Jacobs Remarkable in the shade Ivory Light is one of my favorites. Even though it's matte, I love it, so I'm gonna keep it. And these 2, probably my 2 favorites out of all of them. I have Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Swan and the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear in the shade Mont Blanc. I love both of these, so I'm keeping both. That's everything in that drawer. I know, crazy, right? Lip products are my weakness, and I have so many of them. But like, am I ever gonna use this many lip products? No. Am I still gonna have a bunch by the time this video is over? Of course. But I think there are quite a few that I can get rid of. I'm going to get my makeup wipes down because I'm gonna do some swatching. So let's get started. I have them separated by kind of like what they are. Ew, you could see my foot. I'm so sorry. That's so gross. Just please pretend that you did not, okay? Okay. So I'm trying to get you guys situated like the best possible. I think that's the best view we can get of this drawer. This is at the same height as that other drawer that I told you is like a really bad angle. It's the same height. So this is the last section that we have to go through. Anyway, right here are liquid lipsticks and liquefied lipsticks and lip stains, because I only have 2 lip stains. Lip glosses, tinted lip balms, and then regular tube lipsticks, and then lip balms and like lip scrub are over here. These are from the Lush Life collection. I've only ever used one of them, which is this one called Peace Lily, and I really, really liked it, so I know I'm keeping that. But these 2, I haven't even swatched, so I'm gonna swatch them real quick. So they're not as crazy pigmented as I thought they would be looking at the tubes. So I'm actually gonna keep all 3 of these. I was coming into this with the intention of decluttering both of these, but since they're not like super pigmented, I'm gonna keep both. So I'm gonna keep all of those. So that was kind of a misleading. So here are the next 3. Maybe if my camera decides to focus. Okay, so the one on top, which is this one, is the Laura Geller Color Luster Lip Gloss in the shade Gilded Honey. I'm going to keep that because it is stunning. So keeping that. The next one is the Laura Geller Color Luster Lip Gloss in the shade Venetian Lights, which is very similar in my opinion to the Too Faced one, which is called Grin and Bear It. It's the Comfort Lip Glaze. Those are very similar, aren't they? Like very similar. This one, the Too Faced one, just has a little bit more pigment behind it. But I think I'm going to keep Laura Geller and get rid of Too Faced. Just because I don't really wear the Too Faced one that much anymore. But this one is a little bit sticky and the Too Faced isn't. So part of me wants to keep both. But in reality, I'm not using both. So I'm going to get rid of the Too Faced one, which is the one that's really shiny right now. And I'm going to keep the Laura Geller one. The Too Faced one does smell good, but I can't keep a product because it smells good. But I really want to. You know what? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. I'm doing it. I'm keeping it. Then I have this NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Angel Food Cake. Oh my gosh, can I even get this open? Ooh, this is like an actual pigment gloss. I think I'm going to keep that. That's Angel Food Cake, like I said. And then I have all of the Sephora Clean Lip Oils. They look like this. I have a whole bunch of them. I am going to keep all of them because I do really like this formula and they have really unique colors I don't have in other glosses. Like this purple one is called Grape. I don't have this in other gloss and it has come in handy for like tutorials and stuff. But if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would get rid of them. So I'm keeping all of my glosses. I kind of thought I was going to get rid of some, but then I swatched them and I decided to keep them. So, tinted lip balms. I think here we can get rid of some stuff. I know I'm going to keep the ColourPop Hello Kitty ones because I love them. I'm also going to keep the Winky Lux watermelon balm. It's like clear, but it changes to your pH. I use that a bunch. These other two now, this is the Almay lip oil stick in the shade Rosy Glaze. Let me swatch it for you. Looks like that. And the balm, oh, so the balm's more like a stain. I didn't know that. I thought it was like an oil, but it's a stain. I'm actually gonna keep it. I was going to declutter it, but I figured it was a stain. I thought it was a oil, but it's a stain. I guess I don't know how to read. It's in the shade, I don't know what shade it is. So maybe I'll get rid of this because I don't know the shade name. And I'm gonna keep the Almay one. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to raise you guys a little bit, I think. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna use this drawer for now. So I separated all of my liquid lipsticks or liquefied lipsticks or things like that into piles by just like color family. But these two I did not include because these are actually the only two lip stains I have now since I got rid of that balm one. These are by ColourPop. These are the Fresh Kiss glossy lip stains. I have the shade Double Cherry and Love Bite. I'm gonna keep both of them. They're from the Cherry collection. They look very similar, but this one's a little bit more pink. I'm gonna keep both of these, and I'm gonna put them back up here. So I'm gonna use this to swatch because it is a little bit lower, and I think I can put my hand in here a little bit easier instead of this one. Like I said, that one's a little bit hard to get into. This one's a little bit easier, so I hope that's okay with y'all. Because I'm gonna stain the crap out of my hand doing this, I'm gonna start with nudes of all tones. So like deep nudes, lighter nudes, just nudes. I'm gonna start with nudes. So, and some of these may not be put in correctly just because I just looked at like the outside swatch and sometimes that can be misleading. So let's go ahead and start swatching. So I have two of the NYX Slip Teases. These are more like liquefied lipsticks. They're actually called lip lacquers. And they're just the mini size. I have the entire collection of them. So let's get swatching, shall we? This one is in the shade Undercover Babe. So that's the first one we are going to swatch today. I really like these. I have worn Undercover Babe quite a bit. It's a really, really light nude. It kind of, oops, sorry. It kind of has like, I'm really bad at describing color, but it's a light nude. So we have that one first, and this is in the shade Leatherette. I have worn Leatherette quite a bit as well. That one's a little bit deeper. So I think I'm gonna keep both of these. I do have a couple more of like liquefied lipsticks before I get into liquid lipsticks. So this one is the Too Faced Melted Chocolate in the shade Chocolate Honey. I don't think these are too similar to this. No, so that's kind of like those two in between. So I'm gonna keep all three of these because again, these are liquefied lipsticks. These do not dry down to a matte finish, and the other ones do. So these are different enough for me to keep them because the finish is different. So I'm gonna keep all three of those. Now we get into liquid lipsticks. So these ones do dry down to a matte finish. Some of them may or may not be transfer proof, but I have three of these Sephora Clean liquefied lipsticks. I think that's what they're called. Is that what they're called? I don't know. Yeah, liquid lipsticks. I got some lipstick on them, so I'm trying to clean them up. So I have three of them. So the first one is in the shade Pine, which I have worn a bunch on my channel. This is like one of my favorite shades ever. Okay, so I have Pine. Then I have this one in the shade Cedar, which again is one of my favorites to wear. This one is more of like a mousse consistency compared to the first one. And then Mahogany. This one's also more of like a mousse. These are some terrible swatches, by the way. So we have those. 2 Stila liquid lipsticks. We have Biscotti, which is one of my faves. And Dulce. Some LA Colors matte liquid lip colors. This one's in the shade Suede. Then I have Eclipse. This one used to be like my holy grail. I used to love this shade. So far, they're all looking pretty different, so we're doing good. There are all the nudes swatched right here. Really, I think they all look pretty different. Maybe this one and this one look pretty similar, but I think they all are different. Let's see, what shade is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's this one, Suede, and what is this, Double Shot? Look pretty similar to me. So that is this one and this one here. So I actually prefer the LA Colors formula to the Lick one. So I'm going to pass along the Lick Cosmetics gloss or liquid lipstick. I'm gonna keep the LA Colors one because I like this formula better. So there we are with the nudes. Now we're going to do like light pinks to like medium pinks. I did separate out like the really, really bright or really, really dark pinks. These are more like lighter pinks, my types of shades. And these are all of the liquefied lipsticks. So again, I'm gonna keep all 3 because I think they're all 3 pretty different. So I'm gonna keep all 3 of them. Oh, I like swatched it over top of Rebel Rose. Oops, but I can still see the color, so that's okay. Wow, we do have some similarities here, don't we? So these are all the pinks that I have in liquid lipstick form. Wow, I do think that these two are very similar, but one is a drugstore option and one is high-end. So I think I'm actually gonna keep both. These are the Patina and Rebel Rose shades. Rebel Rose is the Wet n Wild one and Patina is Stila. They're right here. I did swatch Patina a little over top, but they're very, very similar. But I am gonna keep both because one, like I said, is a drugstore option. And, you know, in case I wanna do a drugstore video, so I'm gonna keep both of those. Then I think this one and this one. So these two are similar. This is the LA Colors one right here on my hand, and then this one is ABH. They're very similar. They're not exactly the same, but very, very similar. But I think I'm gonna keep both again for drugstore options because they're different enough to where they are like they're different. So I'm gonna keep all of the pinks that I had. Okay, I'm a little stained, but we're gonna keep going. Now I am going to keep, I think, all of these. None of them look similar to me in the packaging like the other ones did, so I'm gonna keep all of them. I just threw that one. This one from LA Splash I haven't even worn yet, but I have Stila, I have NYX, Wet n Wild, and LA Colors, so I'm gonna keep all of them. We get into reds, and I have way too many reds for one person. So the two that I have that are like liquefied lipsticks are these two from NYX, and I'm going to keep both of them because they're liquefied lipsticks. So this one is called Dexter and this one is called Brick Road. So these are both like liquefied lipsticks. They're not matte liquid lipsticks, so I'm going to keep both because because I think they're different enough, and they're just mini sizes. They don't really take up that much space. I was going to swatch every single one, but I feel like this video would be way too long because it already is long. So I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. All of the reds laid out here, okay? Like, look at this. This is way too many reds for one person. Way too many. So the ones I know I'm going to keep. I know I'm going to keep both of the Sephora ones because I love this formula. It's amazing. It's like one of the best I've ever tried. This one is in the shade Rose, and then this one is Carnation. So I'm going to keep both of these. I'm going to keep, are these like similar? They look very similar to me. Let me swatch these. I know I said I wasn't gonna swatch, but like I have to swatch these because they look very similar. So let's see how similar they are. Do you guys see that? They're very similar, if not identical. So the top one is the Stila liquid lipstick in the shade Besso, and then the bottom one is ABH liquid lipstick in the shade American Doll. Look at that. They're almost identical. Do I have like a drugstore one that matches them? I would really like to. I think this one's pretty similar. It's the Wet n Wild shade in the shade Missy and Fierce. That one looks very similar to those as well. So I know I'm going to keep Missy and Fierce again for drugstore references for a bright red lip. Do I really need both of these? Like, I love both of these formulas though, so this is pretty hard. I really like this Stila liquid lipstick formula, and I love the ABH formula. So like I want to keep both, but like they're identical. I'm going to keep both. I'm going to keep both. I can't decide. I'm going to keep both. Now let's see. Are any of you similar? Okay, these two look similar. They're both drugstore, so let's see. So now that I've swatched them, they're really not that similar. If you can look at the swatch. This one is the LA Colors and Perception, and the top one is Wet n Wild in the shade Behind the Bleachers. They're not similar. They have like a similar undertone, but the LA Colors one is way deeper, so I can keep both of those. And I think the rest of these are pretty different. Like, I don't think that they look similar to each other. I mean, these two do in the tube, but one of them has shimmer in it and the other one doesn't. So to me, they're different enough. So we have some Wet n Wild, ABH, Stila, LA Colors, Too Faced, and more ABH here. So I'm going to keep those, and I will like stack this up nice and pretty later, but for the sake of time I won't do it in the video. I'll just do it after I finish filming. So my hand is getting more and more stained by the second. Now we have some dark colors like berries, things like that. I have these two by NYX. I'm gonna keep both of these. We have Last Frontier and Grind. I'm gonna keep both of them because I haven't used them. I'm gonna keep both of the Sephora ones. I know that. Now, you two. How similar are you? Oh, you're not. So you have a purple undertone and you have a brown undertone, so I can keep both of you. And again, this one has shimmer in it. The Too Faced one has shimmer in it, and the other two are matte, and they are different colors. So I'm gonna keep all of the darker berry tones. Then I have just like funky colors, what I call funky colors. So these are colors that are really vibrant or colors that I don't wear all the time. So I'm gonna keep both of the blues. One is from NYX and one is from ABH. I'm gonna keep, oh, this blue too, Wet n Wild. I'm gonna keep that one as well because that one's really unique. I'm gonna keep this bright purple, which is also from Wet n Wild. I just used this in a tutorial the other day. I'm going to keep the Stila liquid lipstick and both of these NYX slip teases. Okay, These three are all gray from Wet n Wild. This one is different than the other two. This one is Lavender Crown. This one has like a purple undertone to it. I went through this whole phase where I loved gray lips. And then I have Loose Change and Sleepy Hollow. So Loose Change is lighter than Sleepy Hollow, but just barely. Do I need both? No. Am I gonna keep both? Yes, because they are both beautiful and I'm not ready to give them up. So, not doing too well here, but keeping. So, then we have regular lipsticks, which go here. I'm gonna keep all of the Animal Crossing ones from ColourPop because I love them. We're almost done, guys. I'm going to keep the Primark ones that Caitlin bought me in Scotland. These are really nice. I really like them. I'm going to keep both of my Beauty Bakery ones because those are like some of my faves. I'm going to keep my CoverGirl Kitty Cat Mattes because I love those too. I'm just trying to slide them to the back so I have some room. I have another one here. This is a black. It's my only black lipstick. I'm gonna keep the Fenty Wasabi color because it's green and I don't have a whole lot of greens. I'm gonna keep the Estee Lauder, that was a gift. I'm gonna keep the Smashbox one and Laura Geller because those are two of my favorites. I already have a red lip. I'm gonna keep the Illamasqua one because I haven't tried it and I want to try out the formula, but it's just another red lipstick. And the MAC one is a deeper red, which I think, okay, no. So I thought they were the same color, but they're not. So I'm actually gonna keep MAC and e.l.f. So the MAC one's in the shade E for Effortless, and then the e.l.f. one is in the shade Posh. And then I have this color that I haven't even worn yet from ABH. It's so cool. It's like a dusty purple. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep this bright purple one from Too Faced because it's for tutorials. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that, and then I'm gonna keep that. So I didn't get rid of any of my lipsticks because I don't really have that many like tubed lipsticks anymore. I used to have a whole bunch, but I decluttered a ton last year because I just wasn't using them. And that's all I have left. And I do have some tutorials coming up that I want to use some of these berry tones with. But that is everything, you guys. This box is full, like it's really heavy. Full of stuff I'm getting rid of. Like I literally did so well. Like I know you guys are probably like, girl, no you didn't, but like this box is full and it's a pretty big box. Like I have massive hands and like huge box. So I did really well. So that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to my channel before you leave. Help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. If you guys saw any product that you would love to see featured in a video, just let me know because clearly I have a ton of stuff, but I have room to grow. Everything is like really organized now, apart from the lipsticks, which I'm getting ready to do. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way everything turned out. Everything looks pretty good. Again, apart from the lipsticks. But yeah, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and I'll see you guys in my next video.